Here is a Lasko 16-inch oscillating pedestal thein. I don't know or recall what the model number is at this time. If I find out between now and when I type the video description, I'll type it in there, even though probably nobody's going to look at it. This is a highly sought after model for my collection. My grandparents had this one when I was growing up, so consequently I want to find all the different variations of it. This is the 16-inch pedestal or stand model. There was also a 16-inch tabletop model. I have the one that's a year older, which is the model 2016, which has the completely all-metal guards on the front and the rear. This one has the rear plastic guard, but other than that, I'm pretty sure this is the same thing as the 2016. The blade pretty much looks the same. These have a rotary switch on the back, which is kind of an interesting design. There's also a 12-inch variation of this unit, which I'd like to find. And I believe there's also a 9-inch model. I know the 9-inch model existed in the all plastic and all metal guards. I don't know if there was a transitionary model or not. These are kind of rare because they were only sold for, pretty sure, 1 year in the metal guards and 1 year in the metal and plastic guards, and then the all plastic ones were sold for actually quite some time, and a flavor of them is still sold to this day under the Air Queen brand, which is one of the interesting things about the Air Queen brand. They seem to just utilize a lot of the Lasko models from the 90s. So this one, I think it took a fall at some point. Let me turn the other lights on. It seemed kind of washed out before, but let's see if it'll work better now from closer up. This one appears to have taken a fall at some point, and interestingly enough, it was repaired, and it seems to have been repaired pretty well. It's got 2 tie wraps on there holding it together, and it is holding just fine. I think the cord is supposed to come out the back like that, but this might be one of those cases where it's just not worth messing with it because the existing fix is working. You can see this is all cracked there and probably cracked on the other side. So yeah, it looks like there was also an attempt to glue it at some point, perhaps. I think it took a fall. You can see here the motor housing is slightly out of position. I tried to snap it back in, but it's been like that for a while, so the plastic is now warped. So I'll need to completely disassemble it in order to fix that. And the switch is also kind of wonky. It's there and can be repaired, but it's definitely not 100%. Ironically, this one also took a fall at some point, and the guard is all busted up, but otherwise it's in pretty good shape still. And lastly, for damage, the logo is all screwed up there, but I could probably go from the back and at least make it level again. This spent some time in the sun. That's all yellowed out, and the blade cap is yellowed out. And I think something in there probably is yellowed out as well, but I can't see it too good. I gotta work on the lighting a bit more. But it's here, it's in decent shape. I think I'm going to turn those lights back off. Yeah, let's give it a better picture. It's in pretty reasonable condition for the age. You got to think that these are now getting to be, this is a 97, 98 model. And so this is getting to be over 25 years old, or around there. So these are getting old, which is crazy because I remember when they were pretty much brand new. The cord is also very long, which is kind of noteworthy. It's, I would say, closer to 8 feet than the standard 6 feet. the base is not adjustable in terms of height. There's two poles. You could take one of the two poles out, but there's nothing in between. We're testing right now at 116.7 volts. I don't know what this is rated for, but if it's comparable to the 2016 or 2016, like I believe it is, then I think it's rated for about 0.9 amps. And it's a very, very powerful fan. So let's go ahead and start this thing up. We'll begin on the low. Try to keep the wind stream away from the camera. Don't want oscillation. And it does seem to be very powerful. Yeah, it's very powerful. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same as the 2016 in terms of motor and blades. On low, this is pulling 0.49 amps, 57 watts with a power factor of the 0.99. It's a pretty good motor in there. Okay, now we'll go up to the medium. Pretty good increase in speed. This is now 0.56 amps, 64 watts, the power factor of 0.98. And for the power being consumed, this is really quite strong. And I do think that the performance of these, despite being only 16 inches, absolutely rivals a lot of plastic box fans. Even those that were respectable, like the 1980s 223s and the older Lasko 3733s with the D blades and the plastic Marco motors. These are extremely powerful fans. I don't think this is quite as powerful as the, or should I say, I don't think it moves the air quite the same as the 2016 I have does, and it's probably because the aerodynamics of that rear plastic guard are very restrictive. I'm not sure if it's physically possible, but it might be interesting to swap the guards, the rear metal guard onto this from the 2016 and see how the performance changes. And the high. Seems like it's in good balance. Oh, it is. It's in nearly perfect balance, which is not much short of a miracle for a Lasko or Air King product. At full power, this is pulling 0.67 amps, 68 watts, with a power factor of 0.87. I'm not sure why it went down so much on high. And it's very strong. I can feel a strong breeze clear across the room. It's not the quietest thing out there. These are definitely louder than the translucent blade comparables from the 80s and 70s. This is a much louder blade set. However, it's still extremely powerful. Right now, I'll try the oscillation. Which does appear to be working properly. Two. noise on the video. I'm not sure if the camera would pick this up. It's the lampshade being blown around. It's not an anomalous noise from the fan. The fan itself is actually running very well. I can't believe how good the balance is. This is shocking to me. Even on low, I can feel it clear across the room. Plenty powerful. These are very good fans. What I would say to be some of the last really good oscillating fans that we saw. High speed. That's really stirring up the air. And the off. Which of course does not move any air at all. Seems like the bearings are in pretty good condition as well.